Hello and welcome to this MyThemeShop video screencast. In this video I'm going to be giving you a full run through on how to set up and use the TruePixel theme, which is a responsive and flexible WordPress blog theme from MyThemeShop. TruePixel comes with an eye-catching layout without compromising on space for your content and is highly customizable for speed and usability, as well as comes with tons of options and unlimited color schemes. And I'm going to show you how to set up all of this on your site. It's going to be a full run through. If you are not familiar with WordPress, then you'll want to have a look at the WordPress video tutorials available at mythemeshop.com/WordPress-101, and this includes a full run through of how to use WordPress from basic to advanced, as well as some additional advanced WordPress tutorials. So even if you're familiar with WordPress, you might want to check these out in order to make sure your skills are up to speed. We're ready to get straight into the installation and setup of TruePixel though, and so the first thing you want to do is head to the MyThemeShop member area at mythemeshop.com/go/member. Here you can select the TruePixel theme from your active premium resources, and here where it says download and theme files, you want to click on this one. You want to save that onto your computer, and now head for your WordPress dashboard. From here you want to go to Appearance and click on Themes, and then press Add New at the top there, and then Upload Theme. You now want to choose the zipped file you've just downloaded. Select that and press Open, and then Install Now, and WordPress is going to upload the theme and then install it onto your site. From there, all you need to do is press Activate. This is now going to activate the theme, and WordPress is going to tell you some recommended plugins. These are some plugins that are recommended by the theme specifically, and if you want to install any of these, then you can just press Get It if they're not installed already, and it's going to take you to a link where you can get hold of the plugin. If they're already installed but not activated on your site, you'll have the option to activate, and if they're already activated, you'll have the option to manage your plugins. These are recommended and not essential, but they will improve the experience of visitors on your site. Next we can head to the theme options, and we can do this by going to Appearance and then pressing Theme Options. This is the main hub, this is the mission control, and where you can control the vast majority of the settings that are to do with setting up your theme. And I'm going to take you through all of these options one by one. Before we get started, if we head to the last tab here, which is the Import Export tab, you'll see we can import the pre-built options that you'll find on the demos of the themes on mythemeshop.com. You'll see you have two options to view these demos here if you want to see what these layouts look like, and with one click here you can import the theme options, widgets and demo content used on the demos on mythemeshop.com in order to get your site up and running very quickly, and then just tweak the design to get the look you want. You can choose whether to import just the theme options and the widgets, or the theme options, widget and content. I'm going to go for this final option, but you can choose the one which most suits you. You can just press this and it will check if you're sure. Press OK. Just wait a moment for WordPress to handle all of that for you. And once that's done, you'll see import process finished, and you can just press OK. And the page is going to reload with all of those options added. If you're just using the demo content as a placeholder, then you can press this button in order to remove the imported data once you're finished. We can now head back to the general settings though and get on with customizing our site. The General Settings tab contains option settings which will be applied to the whole theme. And this is things such as your logo image. You can display your logo to customize your brand on the theme just by using this field here. You can browse the WordPress media library and either choose any images you've already uploaded, or click Upload Files in order to select a file to upload. So here I'm just going to add my logo, press Open, and then once I'm done, press Select Image. And it's the same process for adding a favicon, for your touch icon, which displays on iOS 2 Plus and Android 2.1 Plus, as well as your Metro icon, which is the image that will represent your site on Internet Explorer 10 tile icons. You can add images and also remove any uploads just by pressing that Remove Upload there. You can add your Twitter username here, so I can just add in MyThemeShop team in order to get Twitter features to show up, and you can also add your FeedBurner URL. This wants to be the full URL, so http feeds.feedburner wordpress.com/MyThemeShop, for example, you might want to use FeedBurner in order to get additional statistics on your RSS feed. With the header code, you can enter any code that needs to be placed before the closing head tag, for example, Google Webmaster Tools, verification, Bing Webmaster Center, buy, sell, ad script, etc. That can all go there. And footer scripts, so that might be things such as Google Analytics or Stack Counter, can all go in the footer box here. You also have the option to change the pagination type. Currently this is on numbered, but we can change it to a next or previous, as well as an AX load more button or an AX infinite scroll. I'm just going to change this to a load more button and then save those changes to show you what this looks like. We'll just load up our site's homepage, and we're going to see that we've got the standard homepage here. But if we scroll right down to the bottom, we're going to see we have the option to load more posts. We can press this button and those posts are going to load without changing the page. And that's what the AX load more button does. AX is the technology which will load the additional content without reloading the page. So if you wanted to have that set to infinite scroll, so when the user gets to the bottom of the page, the rest of the content automatically loads, then you can do that as well. So those are two great options available to you. You also have the AX quick search option. So if I turn this on and save those changes, you'll see what this looks like. I'll just refresh my site. And you'll see when I do a search here on my sidebar, I'm going to have the results immediately show up here without me having to load the search results. And this is just another way of really improving the user experience on your site. So that's another option available to you in the general settings. You can choose whether to have excerpts or full posts displaying on your homepage and other archive pages, just pressing these two buttons here. And you'll also turn on or off the responsiveness of the theme. This is whether the theme responds to device size, so for example having mobile or tablet devices with a specific design of the site. You probably want to leave this on, but if you want to turn it off for any reason, you can do so just by pressing that button there. You can also have the option to enable right-to-left language support, and if you're using the WooCommerce plugin, you can change the number of products which will be displayed on the shop page on your site. Once you're done, make sure you save those changes and you can then have a look at your site to see them in action. The next tab to take a look at then is the Performance tab. This tab contains performance-related options which can help speed up your website. And here you just have a number of options that you can turn on or off. This includes things such as prefetching. Prefetching is a technology that's used in modern browsers. So if the user is on your home page, then single pages will load faster. And if a user is on a single page, then the home page is going to load faster. This will just preload certain aspects of the page in order to speed that up. You can turn that on just by pressing on. You can also lazy load images, so that when a user loads your site, only images that are currently be seen in the actual space of the screen will load, and all other images will load as you go down the page. I've already got this on my site, so if I just reload my home page, you can see what that looks like. So currently when I load my site, only the images that are currently displayed are loading, which makes the load time faster. If I scroll down the page, however, you can see that these images are only loading as I scroll down. And this means that the initial load time is faster, but images aren't going to load immediately for the whole page. It's a really useful feature for controlling server load though, and you might want to customize it by enabling or disabling the lazy loading of featured images and content images. So you might have featured images off, but content images on, in order to make sure that certain bits of your site are loading fast and the rest of it isn't really inconveniencing the user. You can also add async JavaScript tags to improve the page download speed, and that just means that JavaScript can be loaded asynchronously with everything else on the page. You can also remove verb parameters from CSS and JavaScript file calls, which may improve the speed in some browsers. Finally, you can choose the option to optimize WooCommerce scripts just by having this on. If you're using the WooCommerce plugin, then you'll want to do this. Finally, we'd recommend that you use a caching plugin in order to significantly increase your page speed. We recommend using two plugins, either W3 Total Cache or WP Super Cache, both of which are free and you can just install just by clicking this link and following the instructions. As always, once you're finished, you'll want to save your changes. And we can now have a next look at the tab next, which is the styling options. Here you can control the visual appearance of your theme, including colors, layouts and patterns. The first option you're going to see that we have is the option to change the dominant color. This is the primary color used on your site, and if you click on this, then you're going to see that this loads up a color picker and you can change this to anything you want. You'll see at the moment the dominant color on my site is red. For example, it's these hover overs on the menu, it's these options here are red, as well as links for read more and different elements are all highlighted red at the moment. However, I can change this just by using this color picker here. I might change this to perhaps a purple here, but I can also change the tint just by using this one here, as well as go to certain preset colors. If you want to get to greys and blacks and whites, then you can press this one here in order to get to those, but the rest of the color spectrum you can choose these predefined ones or select your own. You can also enter your own color hex code if you want to get a specific color. I'll just change this to a darker blue then, and then refresh the site just to show you how easy that is to customize on your site. You'll see immediately we've got all of that changed to blue, and now the dominant color is that blue there, and that's going to display throughout the site. You can also choose the dominant layout style. This is the default position of the sidebar on your site, and it can either be a right sidebar or a left sidebar. So if I have this on the left and save those and then refresh my site, you're just going to see that the sidebar moves from right to left. That just adds a little bit of customization options for you. You also have the option to configure the background. This can be choosing a background color, and again you've got this color picker here in order to change the color. I'm just going to leave this with the default gray, but you can also choose a background and select from any of these preset backgrounds, or upload your own background image, or even choose a gradient. Here you can just choose two colors to go between and also select the direction of the gradient. If you're using an image, you can turn a parallax effect on, so I might just set a pattern here, and then I can save those changes, and if we have a look at our site, you're going to see that we've now got this different background image, and that is displaying as we set. The final options here are the option to add custom CSS. So if you're overriding any default CSS used on your site, you can just add that here in order to get complete control over your site. If you're making advanced customizations, you'll want to make a child theme, but we'll look at how to do that later. Finally, you have the option to turn on or off a lightbox, which is a stylized pop-up that allows visitors to view larger versions of images on your site without leaving the current page. So images just pop up on your site in an unobtrusive way when visitors look at them. And that can be a nice user interface enhancement that you can just turn on there. As always, once you're done, make sure you save your changes. We can now go on to have a look at the header. The first option you're going to see here is the option to have a floating navigation menu. What this means is that the navigation menu is going to scroll down with you as you scroll down the page. I'll turn this off just to show you what this looks like. You'll see currently when I scroll down, you just have the standard page, but now with the floating navigation menu on, you're going to see that as we scroll down the page, the top navigation menu comes with us, and users can access that from any point on the page. So if you want to have that option on, then you can turn on the floating navigation menu. You also have the option to turn on or off the top navigation menu, so that's this one here, in order to enable or disable that on your site, as well as choose the navigation background color. So if I wanted to change this perhaps to a different blue from our main color scheme, and I could do so here, I would just set that and save those changes, and you're going to see that that now changes on our site. And that's just another option you've got for controlling the look and feel of your site. You also have the option to show or hide your secondary navigation menu, so that's this one here, as well as display or hide your logo completely. You might want to do that if you just want an extra bit of customizability. You can save those changes, and the next option to have a look at is the footer. From here you can control the footer elements on your site, and the first option is whether to have footer widgets. You can choose whether to have this on or off. You'll see turning that off disables additional options, and you can also choose whether to have 3 widgets or 4 widget areas displaying on your site. You see currently this is at 3, so if we scroll down to the bottom of the page, you're going to see I've got 3 widget areas here, but if I change this to 4, and save those and have a quick refresh, and you're going to see that just creates 4 widget areas at the bottom, but there's nothing in that 4th one as we need to add the content ourselves, but we'll cover adding widgets later on in the video. I'm just going to change that one back to 3. You can also change the copyright background color. So this is the copyright section down at the bottom. You'll see it doesn't go too well with this blue color scheme we've got, so I might change this just to a lighter color, perhaps this lighter gray. You can also change the copyright text, and if you're linking to MyThemeShop.com, then you can earn up to 70% on sales you refer just by adding your affiliate link, and if you click on this link, then you're going to find out more about that. Save those changes as always once you are done, and next we can have a look at the homepage. With these options, we can control the homepage elements on our site. This includes enabling or disabling the homepage slider. So that is, if I just refresh the homepage, that is this section up the top here. You're going to see you've got a slider as well as a number of posts displaying on it. So you can choose both the number of posts displaying on the slider as well as the categories that the slider should get the content from. You can click here in order to load up all of the categories on your site, and you can either just add multiple categories here as well as remove them, or you can press this button here to select all of your categories. I'm just going to have this on all, and you can also change the number of posts here just by putting in a number here. 3 is fine for me, so I'm just going to leave it at that. You also have the option to add custom slides to the slider on the homepage, and to do this you can just press add slider here and add your own custom title, image and link to the slide in order to get custom content displaying on your homepage. You can add as many of these as you like just by pressing add slider, and you can also drag and drop in order to move these around. I'm just going to leave these out, and you can just remove them just by pressing delete slider here. Below the slider you've got the option to control the featured categories that display on your homepage. This can be latest posts, as well as any of the categories that you've got set up on your site. You can also change the number of posts to display and add additional sections if you would like to. So here I might just have an extra category, and I can also change the number of posts here as well as drag and drop these in order to move them around. I'm just going to leave this with latest posts, so I can remove that just by expanding and pressing delete section. Finally, you have the option for this section to change the homepage article layout. This can either be an image embedded to the left-hand side with text wrapping, an image centered with text above and below, or an image centered with text only below. And you can just change these just by selecting these buttons. So I'll just change it to image on the left. So you'll see currently we have title and text below. But now with that option changed, we're going to have the image on the left. So you've just got a little bit extra control over how your site is displaying. Finally, you have the option to customize your homepage meta info. This allows you to control the information that displays on posts on the homepage. If you want to enable or disable any of these, you can just drag these over to disabled or enabled, and you can also move these around. So if I wanted to move the comment count, for example, but rearrange categories, and I can do so here. I'll just save those changes. You'll see currently we have author, date, categories, comment count, but now with this refreshed, you're going to see we've got the author and then categories and then the date, but no comment count. You can just customize those to have them set up how you wanted. As always, make sure you save your changes once you are done, and next up we can have a look at single posts. First up, you can customize the layout of single posts. You can choose what displays and where. This includes tags, post content, related posts, and if you expand this you can choose the number of related posts and how they are decided, so either tags or categories, and also the author box. You can move these around in order to change how they are displayed. So if I wanted to have my author box and then post content and then related posts but remove tags, I could do so. So if we just load up a page on our site, having saved those options, you're going to see we've got the author box first and then our content on our site. As with the homepage, you've got the option to customize how post meta info shows, and you can just move these around and put them into disabled or enabled in order to get what you want showing. You also have the option to enable or disable breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs are just these little icons here which link back to the parent pages on your site and just add a little bit extra user friendliness to your site. can also choose to highlight author comments, so comments made by the author will display in a different color, as well as turn on or off the date in comments. Once you're done making those changes, as always, you'll want to save those. And next up, we can have a look at social buttons. Here you can enable or disable the social sharing buttons on single posts. So you'll note currently on this post, we've got these floating social buttons on the right-hand side. But I can have these either above the content, below the content, or floating. So if I wanted to have them below the content, I could just change that. Save those changes, and you're going to see those buttons move from the side to the bottom of the post. Once those have loaded, you're going to see those displaying along the bottom there. You can also choose whether to have those above the content as well as displaying on pages, not just posts. You also have the option to control which social media sites are displaying on those buttons. So you can have Twitter, Google+, Facebook Like, Pinterest, Facebook Share, StumbleUpon and LinkedIn, and you can add or remove these as well as drag them around in order to reorder. Once you're finished making those changes, you'll want to save them. And next up, we can have a look at ad management. With this tab, we can easily manage all adverts displaying on your site without separate plugins. You've got two advert areas. This is below your post title here, and also below your post content. With these two boxes, you can paste in your AdSense, buy-sell ads, or other ad code, and this will display the ad in the relevant locations. So here this will be below article titles on single posts, and this will be below post content on single posts. You also have more additional options though. You can choose whether to display the advert after a certain number of days. So if you want to have your adverts only displaying a week after publication date, perhaps to make sure that regular visitors don't see adverts on your site, but search engine visitors do, then you can add in 7 here, for example, to make ads delay 7 days. In order to disable that, you can set that to 0. And it's the same for below post content. If you want to have visitors only seeing ads a certain number of days after a post is published, just to exclude regular visitors from seeing ads, then you can do that here. Save those changes once you've set them up. And next up, we can have a look at our sidebar management. And this is a really innovative feature of the theme. This gives you full control over the sidebars, and here you can manage and select one sidebar for each section of your site, or through the post editor you can select a custom sidebar on a per post basis. So with these options you can create a sidebar widget area specifically for any page on your site. This includes all types of pages, so you've got homepage, single post, single page, archive, all the different types of archive, search, 404 error, and also shop pages for the WooCommerce plugin. So here I can add an additional sidebar, and we might call this search sidebar, because this is only going to display on search pages, to how we'll set it. So I'll set this to sidebar search, press OK, and then save those changes. We can now apply that to our sidebar. So if we just head back to here, scroll down till we find search here, and then we can select this specific sidebar to display for the pages with search results. So I'll select that there and then save those changes. Now when we go to add widgets to our site, under appearance and then widgets, you're going to see we've got this extra search sidebar displaying. So I'll just put a calendar in here just to fill out that content. And now you're going to see we've got the standard sidebar on our homepage, but if we just do a search here, then we're going to see that we've got a specific sidebar for search pages. But for posts and pages, it's just going to be the standard sidebar again. So we'll just head back to our theme options here and head back to sidebars. And you can see that you've also got the option to apply this same sidebar to multiple pages, as well as to choose for single post and single pages, whether to have any of the sidebars you've created or no sidebar at all. You can create as many of these additional sidebars as you like and customize them under appearance and then widgets in order to customize how they're showing on your site. Really great for flexibility, this feature in the theme. As always, make sure you save your changes once you are finished. Next up, we can have a look at the navigation, and here we can click on navigation and find a link to the WordPress menu editor. Here you're going to find the options to have a drag and drop interface in order to set up the menus on your site. On the left hand side, you're going to find the content. So we've got pages, and if you click view all, then you can see those displaying there, as well as posts. And again, you can press view all or search in order to find the posts you're after, as well as custom links. And these can be links to any site that you like, and categories. And again, you can just tick these, and then for all of these, you can press add to menu in order to add these in here. So I'll just show you what this looks like with the business option. So I'll press add to menu, and we're going to find that added to the bottom. You can then drag and drop in order to customize how these are displaying on your menu. So for example, if I wanted to have this one displaying there, but perhaps create a submenu for this one here, then you can do so. You can expand any of these in order to change the label as well as the title attribute, add any custom CSS classes, as well as choose an icon. And you can scroll through these in order to find the hundreds of icons that are available here. You can also choose a custom color, which is again optional, and you've also got the color picker here in order to help you with that. So you can set that all up, and once you're happy with the navigation structure, you can save those changes. From there, you want to go to Manage Locations and then apply it to a section on your site. So you can see here, first I've got my primary menu added to the primary location, which, as we saw when we were setting up the menus, is this first one at the top here. And then the secondary menu, which is the one below that, you're going to find applied here, is this one displaying at the top of the page. You can also add a specific menu for mobile, and you can just choose any of your menus that you've created in order to add that there. You can create new menus just by going back to Edit Menus and then pressing Create a New Menu. Give it a name and your content, create menu, and then add it to your site. Very easy to use system, the WordPress menu editor. We'll now head back to our theme options, and the next option to have a look at is the typography. From here, you can control all of the fonts used on your site. You can choose between the 17 standard WebSafe font sets or the 600 plus fonts in the Google font library. For all of these, you have a number of options, and on this page you have all of the different types of fonts that are displaying on your site, all the way from content to primary navigation to your H6 headline tag. You can choose between any of the fonts here just by expanding this, and first you're going to find the WebSafe fonts, and then you're going to load up the Google font library. Here you can choose between over 600 fonts, or you can start typing in order to search for a font. So if I wanted to first follow this link to the Google font library, find the font I was after and then select it, I could do so here. You're going to see a preview displays, and if you want to get a contrasting color, you can just change that there. You can also choose the font weight to display, if that's available with the font you've selected, as well as the default size. And again, you can choose this color picker in order to customize the color. If you click on more, then you're going to see some additional options display, including the CSS selectors this is applied to, any additional CSS, for example, you might have some text decoration added, and a fallback font. This is important to choose, as if the font can't be loaded from the Google font library, then you'll want to have one that will display instead. You can do this for any of the fonts displaying on your site, and you also have the option right at the bottom to customize the character sets. If you're using a language using non-Latin characters, then you can tick these in order to get those character sets to show up, but do note they aren't available for all fonts. Once you're finished customizing your fonts, you can save those changes, and if we just have a look at our site now, you're going to see the main content font has changed to this Droid Sans font, which is also at 15 pixels instead of 14 pixels. Next up, we have the import and export options. You'll remember from earlier that we looked at the preset import options here, but below that there are also some really useful options. You can import or export your options code for the theme options. This is really useful if you want to move sites or back up your site options in order to create a copy. So you can press Show Export Code here in order to create a backup text version of all of your options. You might want to save these to a text file. You can also import them just by pressing Import Code here and then pasting in the export code in order to import those onto your site. If you want to make complex changes to your site, then you'll want to make a child theme. TruePixel makes it really easy to create a child theme. You can just add in a name here, and then press Create Child Theme. You want to create a child theme if you're making complex changes to your site, as this will ensure that when you update your theme, you're not going to lose any of the changes that you've made. Once you've created your child theme, you can save those changes and then head over to Appearance and then Themes and then activate the child theme in order to get that running on your site. You can then go into the code and then customize any changes that you want to make. So that actually concludes our look through the Mission Control Center through the theme options. And next I'll take a look at the widgets. You'll find these under Appearance and then Widgets. And here you'll find all of the widget areas as well as the widgets that can be displayed on your site. On the left hand side you'll find the available widgets, and on the right hand side you'll find the widget areas. This includes the footer areas that we created earlier, as well as any custom sidebars that you've added. I'll just demonstrate a couple of the widgets using the default sidebar here. You're going to find custom MyThemeShop widgets denoted with the MTS prefix at the start of the widget title. So for example, if I wanted to add social profile icons, I could just drag and drop this widget onto the widget area. Doing so opens up the options for the widget, including adding a title and additional options, as well as the options to add in all of the URLs for all of my social icons. And I can add in as many or as few of these as I would like. I'll just add placeholders to a couple of these in order to show you what this looks like. So I'll just add the first 4 and then scroll down and press Save on that. If we now have a look at our homepage, then we're going to see at the top of the sidebar we have these 4 social links. We can, however, close this and move this around in order to customize the location that the widget is displaying at. So if I wanted to have the search bar at the top of the widget area, then I could just drag that across, and you're going to see that change made immediately on your site. For widgets, you can also move these between widget areas. So if I wanted to move the search to the footer, I could just drag and drop in order to do that. Widgets are really worth familiarizing yourself with, as they can really add custom potential to your site, and you'll want to have a look through all of these widgets in order to get the look that you want on your site. So that concludes our look through TruePixel. As you've seen, it's a really powerful theme, and hopefully this will have helped you get it set up and running on your site. If you do run into any problems, then head over to community.mythemeshop.com and someone will be able to help you out. I hope that TruePixel is looking great on your site, and thank you very much for watching.